Wow. It's hard to follow that. Thank you, Colin and Shar, for that wonderful, rousing beginning to our service. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Door County. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we welcome you. In this place, there is room for your questions, your stories, your laughter, your doubt, your grief, and your most authentic self. We aspire to be a community of unconditional love, and we welcome you. I am Donna Johnson, your service leader this morning. Please take a moment to silence any cell phones or noise-making devices, if you would, please. On behalf of the fellowship, I extend a special welcome to any visitors who may be with us today. And it is our custom to ask our visitors to stand up and say their name, where they're from, maybe something about why they came today. And so if you are comfortable, please stand and introduce yourselves. Anyone? Go ahead.
I'm Ben. I came here a lot when I was little. I'm from Fish Creek, so just a 10-minute drive. It's been a few years since I've been here, throughout high school and college, so I figured it was about time I got back here.
Welcome. Welcome back.
I'm Mary Sue Roydebuk. I am a pastoral minister at the UU Church in Madison, so I'm here visiting and thought I'd get to be with all of you today and to hear you, John. So thank you for having me.
Welcome.
And this is my friend Marjorie, who is not going to stand, but I'm going to take liberties here and introduce Marjorie Stoneman, one of my best friends. And we're here visiting from Whitewater and Madison.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Jerry Lynn Haryu, I'm just from Sturgeon Bay. Read about the topic that John is going to speak on today and made the drive.
Cheryl Jensen Olson from Sturgeon Bay. Jerry Lynn told me about the topic and I said, oh, that sounds good. And I've always wanted to go to the UU and see what it's all about. I've been here for other events. My husband is a poet and has been an artist, so he's had his events here. And I'm excited to see what it's all about.
Welcome. Anyone else?
I guess the tag gives it away. I'm Janet Beecher. I'm a member of our North Shore Unitarian Church in Deerfield. I live in Highland Park. And whenever I'm up here in Door County, I like to come and enjoy the music and the programs. So thank you.
Welcome back.
I'm Shar Baca from Ellison Bay. Been here a while, 5 years, but I came here to fill, and the fill is my voice.
Okay, at this time, I direct you to the announcements on the back of your order of service. But if there are any additional announcements, now is the time, and Bob has a microphone, so please identify yourself when you make your announcement. And
Hi, Judy Brudd speaking. Probably most of you know that there is going to be a national effort to do protests that are going to be peaceful across this country on April 5th. They're going to be located in 444 locations, and there are over 50,000 people who have already individually signed up to attend these peaceful protests about what is going on in our country today. The theme of the whole operation is hands off. So it's hands off our Medicare, hands off our Social Security, hands off our education and our children, destroying education for our children, and so on. So our event that we're connecting with is in Appleton on the 5th. It starts at 11 p.m. It's at Houdini Plaza. We have 2 cars so far that are willing to take people down, and if you need a ride and you want to go, see me. Thank you. I've said AM.
I'm going to put this up out on the board. Did I say
Hi,
My name is Gwen Grayboys, and I have sort of an announcement and a joy. On Friday night, I was sitting there thinking about what to make for dinner, and the phone rang, and it was Mary Smythe. And she called to give me a very long talk, actually. I mean, not like a lecture, but she called to chat for a long time, and she's doing grand. She has another procedure coming up in the next week or two, but she's talking about coming back to Door County sometime April or May. So she's made an amazing recovery. Her voice was strong. Her mind was just amazing. I can't, honestly, it's hard to believe somebody at any age could go through what she had to go through and still be as sharp as she is. So it was really a joy. She is still very weak, so she prefers that people don't call her, but to send emails and cards. They're in Cincinnati right now. And Dick really misses his car.
Hi, I'm Mark Richards. You know that I work closely with Woosan. One of our very close partners is Wisdom, an interfaith justice organization throughout Wisconsin. On April 10th, they are having their biannual Madison Day, because this is a budget year, and they are holding, previous to that, they're holding classes on understanding the state budget this year. And on Madison Day, we go to Madison, have a rally on the State House lawn, and then we go in and we visit with our representatives, or at least their offices. The representatives are seldom there, but at least we get to talk to somebody, and they get to hear what's on our minds. If you're interested, be in touch with me, and I can get you more information.
Good morning, everyone. Colin Welford and Christine Saldana. We've come in force to talk about something which I think you care very much about, which is Earth Day and Earth Day related issues, climate change, etc. I'm going to move this back if that's all right. And Jeff Lutzy was meant to be with us today, but his girlfriend came into town, which is a rare event. So, you know, Earth Day, girlfriend. Anyway, we asked for permission from Sarah and from Henk to address you, and they kindly said we could spend just a minute or two. So we wanted you to know about this concert, which you've seen the flyers for now. It's actually not on Earth Day itself. It's on Arbor Day, which I care about even more. It's all about trees, and the Door County Climate Change Coalition will be giving away their thousands of free trees, which are little saplings, on that day at the concert. In fact, so it should be a mountain of greenery to wade through to get to the auditorium. Anyway, Christine will tell you a bit about the concert, and then we can tell you about what you could possibly do to help raise this topic.
Yeah, so we're very excited about working with Jeff Lutzy and his group, and we're putting together, in addition to Colin and Friends musical menagerie, we're going to have lots of activities for families in the lobby of the DCA prior to the concert. So we're planning to have sort of a mural where all the kids from Gibraltar can help and do sort of Earth-related themes, and hopefully we'll have them be part of the concert. In addition to Colin and Friends music, we have, I don't know if any of you have heard of Parker Drew. Parker Drew is, basically a comedic actor, tour de force. He has spent, 50 years on the stage, really doing portrayals of Mark Twain and Will Rogers, and he's just delightful. So again, he'll be doing themes of, conservation and nature and environment. What else, Colin? Did I miss?
What else? What else? Yes, well, if they answer their email, and we're going to make sure they do, the idea is that this is a free concert, and of course we'll raise money as we always do, but the money will go to the Ecology Club of Gibraltar School. So they should answer the phone, because there may be a couple $1,000s lying at the end of it. So here's how you can help. And by the way, Dick and Mary Smythe were in fact, it was their idea. They were in at the very beginning of this idea. So they're very much involved. How you can help please come, of course, bring your friends and family, but even more than that, you could advocate, you could even be evangelists for the cause. And I would love it if you could all take a small bunch of these and give them to friends and neighbors, personally invite them along. It's a great gift because it'll be a really fun concert. It won't be a lecture, it'll be a fun event. So really spread the word. And the other thing, if you'd like to volunteer, because we will need volunteers on the day, and also we're looking for sponsorships as well. So that would really help to underwrite the concert. So please get involved, because this is something we're all at the heart of, and I include you all in that. Thank you very much. We'll give these out later, or please grab some. All right. Thanks so much.
Come plant yourselves and your friends in the seats at DCA.
Very good.
Okay, I'd like to invite Carol up to light the chalice as I read the words go along from Melanie Davis. If ever there were a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice. It is said that ministers are here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. I say, we're all afflicted, and we all are comfortable. May our time together this morning be a comfort and a confrontation. May we here find peace in times of tumult. May we here invite tumult into the lives of peace. May we here find calm in times of restlessness. May we here allow restlessness to evolve into action. Let this be the place you consider what you've never considered. Let this be the place where you imagine for yourself something new and unthinkable. May this hour bring dreams of new ways of being in the world. Come, let us worship together. Please stand in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 209, O Come, You Longing Thirsty Souls. And please remain standing for the responsive affirmation printed in the order of service and the singing of the doxology.
Oh, come, you longing, thirsty souls, drink freely from the spring. And come, ye weary, famished folk, and end your hungering. Why spend yourself on empty air? Why not be satisfied? For everywhere a feast is spread, that's always at our side. For as the rain and snow above fall not in vanity, but for this purpose water to feed humanity, so shall the word of Spirit serve as seed within our loam, that we may bear so rich a yield as brings the harvest home. For we shall go in peace secure and live in joy sublime. The hills outside will burst with song, the trees will clap in time. No more shall thorns and nettles grow, the bay tree and the pine shall sign for us the eternal name that makes the world a shrine.
We affirm the unfailing renewal of life.
Rising from the earth and reaching for the sun, all living creatures shall fulfill themselves.
We affirm the steady growth of human companionship. Rising from ancient cradles and reaching for the stars, People the world over shall seek the ways of understanding. We affirm a continuing hope that out of every tragedy, the spirits of individuals shall rise to build a better world. At this time, you are invited to share any joys you may have so that we may celebrate with you. Or if you have concerns that burden you, feel free to share so that we may offer solace and support. Please identify yourself when you share, and please wait for the microphone to be brought to you. Please keep in mind that the service is being broadcast and will be on the internet, so please do not share about another person or persons unless you have their permission to do so. Any joys, concerns?
Hi, Grace Bernhardt. It's with great joy that I celebrate Gerhard's 89th birthday today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gerhard. Happy birthday to you. Okay. All right. Your birthday too?
I'm happy to announce that it was my birthday this past week. And here to celebrate my 88th year, yes, as old as the Pope, but I'm happy to announce I'm in much better health than the Holy Father. And here to celebrate with me is my son Ted, would you please stand, and my granddaughter Emily. So we've had fun.
I'm Barbara Campbell, and we raised our three children in the UU Church in downstate Illinois, and we raised them to value public service. That was important within the church and by my husband and I. Our son, commander in the Navy, has found that his current situation compromises the oath that he took and has put in his papers for retirement. Our youngest is a professor of genetics at the University of Alaska, and she's waiting to hear whether millions of dollars of NSF grants that were awarded to her lab for sustainable fisheries will actually be paid out. And our middle child, our sweet middle daughter, 2/3 of her Harvard graduating class went into investment banking and finance, and she chose a career in museum work to restore stolen artifacts, art and artifacts, and to fund local and tribal museums, including in Door County. Last week, the smallest federal agency, the Institute of Museum and Library Services, was written out of existence by executive order, and the small but mighty 75 employees don't know whether IMLS in any form will continue to exist. So the drama continues, but her career and her dreams are completely shattered. It's not been a good week. So I found and was reminded of something that I learned in the UU Church in Peoria. It was a Lutheran minister, Martin Niemöller, who was a supporter of the Nazi Party, voted for Adolf Hitler in 1933, and of course was later interred in concentration camps. And what he said was, first they came for the communists. I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me.
I'll just follow that with, I'm concerned because I wasn't fast enough for the announcement period, but my concern is what's happening, and we're hearing more and more of what's going on. So it's a small joy and an offering. I taught a meditation class this winter at the Clearing, and there was interest there in seeing it continue. So on April 3rd, Thursday, from 4 to 5 p.m. at the Clearing at the Jensen Center, we will have a meditation circle that is beginning. It will have some instruction. You don't have to have experience, just a curiosity. If you want to learn more, just talk with me after the service.
Okay, we will now collect the offering. If you prefer, you may make a donation online from our website, uufdc.org. You'll find the donate button on the far right of the homepage. It's easy, safe, and secure way to make your donation. Please be generous to support the work of this fellowship. It is with great pleasure that we welcome back the Reverend Dawn Volpe, pastor of the Ephraim Moravian Church. Her 34 years in the ministry have gifted her with many wonderful insights, which lead us to thought-provoking discussions. Please join in a moment of quiet to prepare for her message.
The first reading is from the Hebrew Scriptures. The words I'm about to read come after the prophet Elijah routed the prophets of Baal. When King Ahab heard of this awful event, he told his wife, Queen Jezebel, that the religious leaders she revered were destroyed. So she sent a message to Elijah telling him that he would not be breathing air on the planet by day's end. Then he was afraid. He got up and fled for his life and came to Beersheba. He left his servant there, but he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a solitary broom tree. He asked that he might die. It is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my ancestors. Then he lay down under the broom tree and fell asleep. Suddenly an angel touched him and said to him, "Get up and eat." He looked, and there at his head was a cake baked on hot stones and a jar of water. He ate and drank and lay down again. The angel of the Lord came a second time, touched him, and said, "Get up and eat, otherwise the journey will be too much for you." He got up and ate and drank. Then he went in the strength of that food for 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mount of God. At that place he came to a cave and spent the night there. Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" He answered, "I have been very zealous for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the Israelites have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they are seeking my life to take it away." He said, "Go and stand on the mountain before the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." Now there was a great wind, so strong that it was splitting mountains and breaking rocks in pieces before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a sound of a still, small voice. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. Then there came a voice to him that said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" The second reading is by Michelle Mills, entitled Inhabiting the World. For the past year and a half, I've been receiving daily emails from USA Jobs, the employment site of the federal government. I used to receive notices about a huge variety of interesting jobs with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, CDC, Veterans Administration, NOAA, USDA, Forestry Service, along with others. Now the only departments hiring are Navy, Air Force, and Homeland Security. It strikes me how clearly this expresses this administration's worldview. If all you emphasize is war and defending and expelling, your only relationship with the world is fear and aggression and anger. That recognition stops me in my tracks. At any moment in our lives, we have a choice about how to inhabit the world. We can notice the child needing help, the wonder of salmon spawning in a river where they have not been witnessed for decades, the librarian feeding the curiosity of someone who wants to know about the history of country music or how to build a chicken coop. When I put myself in the shoes of any person who approaches the world with anger and distrust, my body has a physical response. I feel claustrophobic and contracted, ready to spring out and destroy anything that comes close, because everything is a threat. It feels tense and vigilant, ready to kill and control in order to feel safe. The irony is that no matter how much control it gets, it will never feel safe. Its aggression makes it impossible to notice all of the possibilities for beauty and kindness. That's not the way I want to inhabit the world. Sometimes I try to feel what it might be like from the other side. What if I were a salmon fighting my way upstream to lay eggs and then die? Or the huge sequoia that's grown for a millennium? Or the mushroom growing at the foot of that tree? Every moment, our breath is a powerful antidote to the disembodiment of fear and anger. It's a way to return to ourselves, an invitation to feel our body on the earth and inhale the beauty of existence, to allow that to infuse our very essence, then pause in silent reverence, and then to exhale in sacred offering to all beings. And my prayer, may we pause, may we feel the earth and the sky. May we find ourselves in the large and in the small, in the self and in the not self, in our bodies and in the infinite, in the now, in the then, and in the yet to come. May we welcome all with curiosity, grace, and compassion. It's so good to be back. If you remember, I was here in November, a couple of weeks after the election. And if you remember what I told my son, we're all doomed. But then I went on to talk about the hope. I went on to share some ideas of how we can cope in a time when the world is on fire. And I recall talking to some of you afterwards about some of those coping mechanisms. And one thing we said was we should stay off social media. We should stop watching the news. I even shared with my friend Jerry, I said, don't let that man take free rental space in your head. But that was before January 20th. I did myself a favor. I did not watch the inauguration for the first time in my adult life. I did not watch it. And I thought I was doing fine. And then the news started coming. And I feel like every time I think I'm upright, all of a sudden I get smacked over. Because evil is relentless. I thought in 2020 that things were finally being set right, but I was naive because evil is relentless. Even if we win a battle, evil will stand back and regroup and come at us a different way. Evil is relentless. And I've been struck by how it has affected every swath of the United States and beyond. And one of the most poignant things for me was just a recent thing. I've been watching these town halls and where people are getting shouted down. I'm not a fan of that because I think we need to be in dialogue. I'm not sure that's very effective. But in a town hall in Iowa, a woman got up and she said, I am 70 years old. And she spoke to her senator and she said, I have admired you all my life. I have voted for you every time you've come up for re-election. Why are you not protecting us? That was so poignant to me, that it is the things that we fear the most have happened. And I feel fatigued. And it's only been 2 months. I'm like, what am I going to do for 4 years? And I feel like I'm out of my expertise. I don't know what to do. And so as I was thinking about that, how fatigued I am, how I'm off my game, how I try every Sunday to find a word of hope for my people and for the people in our community, and I thought of the prophet Elijah. Because Elijah, I really admire Elijah. This was a prophet who kicked butt and took names. Elijah was so powerful that to this day, in Seders across our country and around the world, there's a seat that is set aside for Elijah to come. Even in the Christian faith, in the New Testament scriptures, Elijah is referenced. He was a man of great power, and he stood up against evil. And one day he thought, I'm going to make a final battle, a final pitch to my people. We're going to have a contest between me and the prophets of Baal. And he won that battle decisively. But he didn't count on Jezebel. She's one of those delightfully evil people, like Darth Vader. I mean, she made Ahab look like a choir boy, her husband, who was also evil. But Ahab at least did not want to mess with Elijah, but Jezebel didn't care. And so she sent a message to Elijah. And although Elijah would have gone toe-to-toe with Ahab, not Jezebel, the minute he heard her threat, he knew that she would make good on it. And so he was so frightened, he ran away. And then he sat down under a tree and he said, just kill me now, Lord. I'm done. I am done. And he fell asleep, and it says a messenger of God provided food for him, and then he fled even further out. 40 days he kept going. He didn't go back, he kept going away from the danger. Smart man. And then he finally gets to a mountain, and God speaks to him and asks him, well, what are you doing here? And what did he say? Now, this part of Elijah makes him more real to me, because when you think of the great prophet, he's kind of untouchable, but he whined, and he said, they're all out to get me, and I'm the only one left, and everybody else is wrong but me, and now I just want to die. And what God told him was, I need you to go back. So he sent him back because he said, there's going to be a regime change soon, and I want you to anoint the next kings. And not only that, I want you to take care of another person. I want you to anoint this other person who's going to be a prophet in your place, and he's going to continue the work. And when I think of Elijah, here are the lessons that I learn when I feel battle fatigued. And the first one, and I hope if you know nothing else from what I say, that you'll hear this one point. What did Elijah do first? He slept and he ate. There is value in Sabbath. Sabbath is the concept that we take one day a week and we turn off. Sabbath is the concept that we give our bodies and our minds rest. And so what I would like to say to you and to me, because I've fallen back on this, is to take that Sabbath away from social media, away from the news. It'll be there the next day. We'll hear all the awful things that are happening the next day. But one day a week, we have got to regenerate, or we are not going to make it these 4 years. Take the Sabbath. If it's wonderful weather, go out. Go to the yoga or the meditation group that's going to meet. Find ways to restore your soul. We've got to have a Sabbath. And so if you meet me in the grocery store anywhere, ask me, Pastor, are you taking your Sabbath? Because it's been awfully hard because the phone draws me in. Or if I check my email, I don't know about you on your email, but there are little headlines and they draw me in. Don't open it. We've got to take a Sabbath so that we can restore our souls and so that we can be ready for the battle that is ahead. The next thing that I learned was in that talk that God had with Elijah, when he told him to go back and to anoint these people, he also gave him a reality check. Because the rest of the story was, God said to Elijah, "Do you know, you're not the only one left. There are 7,000 people in Israel that have been faithful." And I think of those 7,000 people. They didn't get the voice of God. They didn't hear that still small voice. They didn't have the luxury of going away and getting their souls restored. They were in the battle every single day, trying to be faithful in a time of great wickedness. And so we need to be like those 7,000 nameless people who were faithful, who did what they could. They might not have been able to stand up in a public setting, but they found ways to resist. And this is what we need to do, find the ways to resist. And now, most of us, with the exception of a few lovely young people, have had more years behind us than in front of us. And what we need to learn from Elijah is this: his job was almost done. So he gave the power to the next generation to continue the work. And that might be the most consequential thing we do in the rest of our lifetimes, is giving the next generation, instilling in them the values, instilling in them the love of people and country and the world, instilling in them the love and the grace that we feel, and bringing it into their lives so that they can continue the battle. Evil will always exist. Evil is relentless. But dear friends, let us be as relentless as evil, so that we can, in 4 years, stand up and say, we have won the battle. We have won the battle for our souls and the souls of the next generation. We're in this for the long haul. Take your Sabbath and get ready to fight the battle. Amen. Would you stand with me as we sing our closing hymn, number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song.
Oh
If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another, that they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace. May it be so.